hitting the button. So we were way off last week. We said it was like 178. It was 174. Don't know how we both got mixed up on that, but
well, I was looking at the number that you had at the top of the screen.
I think I posted the wrong one. That's all.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't know what I did, but this is THP episode 175. Last week was episode 174. I swear we know how to count, or at least I do. Spelling is another thing.
Typing it on there is another.
Yeah.
Another story.
So we're back. This episode is brought to you by BlackBoxCages.com. Check them out, Facebook, Instagram. So I posted a reel earlier. All 4 rhinos were out, hanging out in each one of their biogs. So I call it the Rhino Condo. And they were just all chilling. So it was like just going around the Hollywood squares kind of thing.
Yes,
it's good. They look so good, man. Once those pothos get growing in there, they look really solid.
Nice.
So it's looking good. The Barons is going to be going to our buddy Skylar. And the male rhino, who is not in a biog, will then be in a biog.
Where are you gonna put that lone bio in your stacked up room?
It's on top of the Jansenite cage. Yeah.
Cool.
So he's gonna go in there once that's available.
He's shipping with my box, right? Whenever I send that carpet to Skylar. Okay.
Yep.
I have a 9x9x9, and I think with the tub that the carpet's going in, it should be
more than enough space.
Yeah, should be big enough for both of them.
I've been a shipping fool lately, man.
You have.
Like crazy. I need to get more heat packs. I used my last one yesterday. So
damn, I didn't even think about using a heat pack now that it's cold. I think it's supposed to warm up next week.
It's supposed to warm back up, so I don't know when you're planning on sending it, but we may be okay if it's. I mean, it's still going to go out to Memphis, and then it's going to go down. There, but I don't know. But
I think it'd be all right without a heat pack.
We'll see.
If it gets a little warmer next week. Yeah, might try and ship next week.
Better than being a breeze.
Yeah. I'd much rather ship when it's a little cold out than when it's super hot. So.
Well, all the boxes I had were supposed to be like 7x7x6s, and that's what this box says, but they seem smaller than that, so I don't like. I was supposed to send Bill a shirt with his thorn scrubs that he got for me, and because I thought I had like 7x7x7 boxes, I thought I could fit it all, and I couldn't. So it's like, where do these small ass boxes come from? But I guess it works out.
You couldn't fit a shirt in the bottom of that box.
No, because I put in a beanie there with it.
All
the other hosts are getting some beanies, so
nice.
I just put the snakes in the beanie and use that as like the packing material. The box. Like, this is perfect. It'll keep them warm. It's nice and padded.
That's what they're for.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nice.
So BlackBox Cages, check them out. And then Steve Snake's Rain is Venom Hot Sauce. If you like it hot, some of us do, some of us don't. Regardless, you need to buy some hot sauce. You need to try it. Because even for the people that aren't into like super spicy stuff, there's options. If there's people that want to like burn the skin off their esophagus as it goes down, there's options there. Cottonmouth sauce right in the middle. It's perfect.
Yeah.
SteveSnakesRay.com. Check it out.
And you get a cool little souvenir with the hot sauces, man. They have a nice little label on it. Nice
little bottles are cool.
Yeah. I just found my bottles the other day. I need to put them up somewhere in my snake room. Got them around here somewhere.
So when it comes to like souvenirs, I'm gonna get a box together. I have a bunch of like herp shirts that don't really fit anymore because I'm fat. And the Albuquerque Rattlesnake Museum wants them, so I'm gonna send them all.
Oh wow!
To put up because they like take anything that has like that's like herp related stuff. They put it in their displays and stuff in there. So
nice.
Which we did an episode on Snakes and Stogies with them a couple months ago, but they did like a virtual tour like while we were doing it, and it's pretty cool. Like if it's got a snake or something on it, like they've got it in there on display. It's pretty neat.
Well, we should send them some THP gear.
I was going to. I think I was going to send I have some PCE shirts that don't fit. Probably the Carpet Fest shirts that I don't really wear anymore. I figured those would be a cool thing to put in a museum instead of just sitting in my closet.
Yeah, I have a Carpet Fest shirt that makes me look pretty chubby, so I might send that with you.
Yeah,
I mean, I need that. My first one.
getting some stuff together at some point. I'll send it. But
Cool.
what's new
Ooh,
over
cool.
on your side of town?
Nothing really, man. I'm just maintaining the new pits from Paint Shop. Those are the most recent buys. The Northern Pines and the Black Pines, they're all doing stupendously. The male Black Pine is never happy to see me, but the female is actually pretty chill, surprisingly. The Northerns are freaking adorable. Yeah, everything's rocking and rolling. We're prepping for winter here soon, kind of feeding up everybody. Everybody's getting big extra meals. Carpets are getting ready to be cut off come November-ish. And we're going to put colubrids down at the end of December. So we're fattening everybody up to get cold. And yeah, pretty stoked. I'm sitting next to one of my albino Floridas that just took a massive dump right next to me. So
Nice.
dealing with that, but
That's always fun.
oh yeah, no, that's probably my most exciting pairing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm more excited for those than probably anything. I really hope they go. They're on the young side, but they're nice and big, so we'll see if we can't get something out of them.
I don't know if I said it previously, but I recently probed mine thinking it was a female, and the probe just kept going and going and going and going. I was like, "Yeah, all right, not a girl."
That's
So,
all right. Send it to
still fun,
old
but now I got to change the name because it was Little Debbie. I don't know what to call him now. Little Donnie.
little Donnie.
Donnie.
Yeah, send that boy over to me in a couple years.
Donnie and Jared the Jani.
There you go, Donnie and Jared. Name it Jacob. It's Jared and Jacob. Yeah, come on, man. You know you love me.
Jacob's kind of a whack name, though.
Wow, that's not offensive.
He's right here.
I'm
right here.
Standing right here. Luckily, everybody calls me Jake, so fuck you. Which still takes getting used to for me, man. I grew up as Jacob. Now everybody calls me Jake, and I'm like, ah. It's cool. I'm with it. What about you? What's new on your end?
Yeah, kind of sort of starting to mentally prepare for getting everything together to cool stuff. I don't know if I have enough tubs since I got rid of so many of them earlier this year. I think I saved most of them because we did that garage clean out and stuff, and a lot of tubs went. I really hope I didn't throw away ones that I needed. I don't think I did, but yeah. So getting ready for that. I think we're gonna have a winter that's on time this year, so I think I will be able to cool in my normal period that you insist I should wait and do later.
Hey man, do you, dog? Do you? I was actually talking to Montross today, and he says, like some of his stuff he cools for about 4 weeks. So I think we'll definitely get at least 4 weeks. I'm gonna shoot for about 8 weeks on some of my stuff. But yeah, I think we'll be good for January through February. But again, that's just me. Do what you want. As far as that goes, if we can make it to BlackBox before cooling season, I'm just going to get a caster for my V70 stack, and I'm going to roll that whole mudsucker out to the garage.
You can either make or buy like a cheap dolly, though. Just as easily put it on that and roll it out.
Yeah, I could get one of those, those things that people use for cars to like go underneath cars on their backs. I've thought about using those, but I want to get a caster set from BlackBox and look a little bit more sleek, but push comes to shove, that'll be the way.
Well, you also don't have any like doorstep ledge things, right? Like yours is all like you don't have a drop going into your garage through that doorway.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a common door.
I don't know what the term is for that.
It. Yeah, I don't either. So yeah,
doorstep.
Yeah, I do have one of those, so it'll kind of have to roll over that, but that's I ain't worried about that. And
I
then
think
everything
I thought
else.
about that too because mine is on casters. I could totally do that.
Yes, roll
Why
the whole
didn't I
thing
think
out there,
about
dude.
that? Oh, then I'm good on tubs. Shit.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's why I'm here.
See, yeah. I mean, sometimes Jake just comes along with these just super simple ideas. It's like I'm an idiot for not thinking about that.
There you go, man.
Like,
Yeah.
sitting here going around my elbow to get to my knee, and he's like, "Dude, just touch your knee." Oh shit!
It's right there. Yeah. Everything I'm cooling is in the V70 stack right next to me, and everything in here is gonna get cooled. Not even all of it's breeding, but I'm gonna cool them bloodsuckers just because. Then the other ones getting cooled are in standalone tubs as it is. So I don't think I'm gonna need any external stuff. I'm more worried. To be honest,
I have smaller stuff that's gonna get. So I kept all the lids from that AP rack I have that I hate so much. I have all the lids for those tubs. So what I did last year was I just took those out, lidded them, and then they all went in a stack.
Yeah.
And so I'll wheel out that V70, and then all the smaller stuff, like the 2-year-old animals ish, those are gonna go into cooling. Those will all get pulled and separated. And pretty much just be yearlings and babies that I'm gonna be keeping up.
Yeah, everything in my XR20 and XR16 stack is gonna stay in this year. But all my bigger stuff is in standalone tubs as it is on a baker's rack. So I'm just going to pull them off and put them in there. My biggest worry, honestly, in my garage is like, I know it's going to be cold, so I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem, but I'm slightly worried about roaches. I worry about bugs in the garage.
I never had an issue with them when I
didn't?
had everything in here. No.
Okay. I think I solved most of my roach problem when I stopped putting my trash out there. I used to have my trash can where I put all my bags of trash in the garage, and that was attracting
Yeah, I
a
think that'll do it.
lot of roaches. So that is now on the front porch, and I don't nearly have the roach problem that I had before in there. So I think we'll be all right, especially with the cold. I don't really see me having an issue. I'm almost worried about it getting too cold out there now. I might have to bring the old space heater out there and hook it up to a thermostat if it gets too cold. But
I don't think it'll get that cold. I think it'll be exactly where we want it to be.
Yeah, I'm just wondering where my garage is gonna be because like with this weather today, because it was 40 something degrees this morning, and I got my rodents today. I got my order of rodents today. And I went in there like this was like at 4 o'clock or something. I went in there to unload the box, and I was like, "Ooh, it's actually kind of cold in here." And it got up to like 60 degrees today, so I was like, "I don't know, it might get pretty chilly out here." But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, it stays relatively okay. So,
I lost a Baird's.
lost to Baird's.
I had one of the Loma Alta babies died.
No, man.
Went too big on a meal, and I think either it ate it and then it regurged it, and it was probably a bigger meal than what I should have given it. And I mentioned it on Snakes and Stogies on Monday that Baird's, for whatever reason, when they're babies, just don't seem to handle like a larger meal that you would normally give like any other Pantherophis. They don't seem to handle that as well, especially if they're sort of more high strung and stressed. Because this one regurged it and just was dead. Like it's not crypto or anything like that. I'm not worried about that because I've had this happen with Baird's in the past too, where it's like I gave them too big of a meal and they I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the stress, the trauma from the physical like regurging itself or what, but they don't do well. So that one didn't make it. Everyone else is doing really well.
Was it just a fat pink, or did you try to give it a fuzzy?
Large pinky, small fuzzy somewhere in there. It was pushing it. Like it was. I was like, you know what? We're gonna push a little bit, and too much. So had that happen. But I picked up a really nice female Annery Motley corn off Craigslist.
Craigslist pickup coming through.
But sometimes Craigslist comes through. $100. It was really nice.
Nice.
Fairly certain it's a female. I got to probe it still. She's in quarantine.
Was it sold unsexed?
Yeah. I'm fairly certain it's a girl, but I'll be cooling her down and stuff with everything else as well. Separately, but cooled. And if everything checks out, then she'll get warmed up and sort of maybe put in the rotation. I don't know yet. Still haven't really planned any of the breeding stuff. I've been kind of trying to save that for that Corn Stars episode me and Chris want to do. I haven't even really written down all my pairing options yet to sort of have a grasp of what's going on. But
yeah.
Other than that, I mean, it's pretty much business as usual.
Yeah, man. Nice.
This episode, we are, however, joined by Mr. Harry Claiborne.
How we guys doing tonight?
Pretty good, man.
How y'all doing tonight?
Oh, I'm good, man.
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. So is it Claiborne or Claiborne?
Claiborne.
Claiborne.
Like Liz Claiborne.
Exactly.
Nice.
I make per garage. Knock off Liz Claiborne's.
There you go, man. Yeah, no, it was actually awesome meeting you at Daytona, man. It was funny. I'd only seen like kind of a picture of you like kind of on Instagram and like a weird angle type of deal. And I looked over and saw you and I was like, I think that's Harry. It's like, I'm just gonna yell his name and see if he turns around. I was like, Harry. He turned around. I was like, ah!
Dude, we talked about it. We all need name tags with our Instagram handles on them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just shirts, yeah.
Yeah.
In big bold white letters.
There's like the decals on the back of always ridiculous looking vehicles when people have their Instagram.
Yeah, all the big diesel trucks and
Wanted.
little rice burners.
Those always make me laugh because it's like now I have a way where I can message you and say, "Hey, you drive like an idiot."
Yeah, now I control you at a red light.
That's right.
Yeah, some guys I've noticed around here they put their Snapchats on there, and I'm like, oh, that's a bad idea, bro. That's a bad idea. Okay, but
I don't even know I use Snapchat.
I don't either. I don't use Snapchat like at all.
No.
I'm not 16 anymore.
Whoa.
But no, Snapchat's cool if you're into that type of thing.
How was your Daytona, Harry?
I had a really good time. It was good to go. Finally, actually, last year I only did a day trip. I've been going for a number of years now, probably over a decade more, probably. But
oh wow,
it was nice. Yeah, I'm 4 hours away, so it's pretty easy to shoot down. But no, it was good. We actually took my girlfriend for the second year I've taken her, but we actually got a hotel room and stayed and all that stuff and did the whole weekend thing. You can't really have as much fun as you want to in a day.
No,
yeah, Jake will tell you.
No, been there, done that. Not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. I think I left that the 1 year I did that. The next year I just skipped because I couldn't go because of personal issues.
Yeah.
The next year I just skipped. But the year before that, I think I left my house at like 7 a.m. and I got back at like 11:30 at night, and I was like, no, this is not.
And it's actually the same drive distance for us as it is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4.5 hours, but
I think we might even beat you a little bit because we're like we can make it in just under 4 if we go at the right time and kind of haul a little ass. But
yeah, trying to make opening when we did it last year. I got there like noon and just did a quick lap. But,
no, it's that there and back trip is not for the faint of heart at all.
See, it's one of those things where it's like if I'm gonna take the time to drive there and it takes me 4 hours, I feel compelled to spend at least like half of that at the actual thing I'm going to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like, what was the point? Like, I gotta, even if I walk around the show 20 times and just see all the same stuff, it's like I don't control all the way there.
Same stuff. There's always going to be something you missed, and it's always good to have time to do that because.
Yeah, no, I will never make another one of those day trips, man. From here on out, it's the weekend, like, especially because from here on out, I would like us to be able to vend, as the network. So I think we're hoping to have that in the works for next year, but we'll see how that goes. But especially with that in the works, like, yeah, we need to be able to stay the weekend for sure.
You don't get a chance to meet all the people you want to meet, and then you end up having regrets a week later from it.
Yeah, no.
Burn a
Then
weekend.
you see videos and pictures of everybody having fun, and
See all those people.
the 1 year I didn't go, Smitty got trashed, and I didn't get to see it. So I was like, never again, never again.
Yeah, it was so nice being able to go to work and say, "Hey, I need this Friday or Thursday and Friday off," and then being like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Like, just it hasn't been that simple for me to get time off in like a decade.
Yeah. How's it
So,
feel,
like,
buddy?
well,
That's my
actually,
life.
that's not true. But at least within the last like 4 years when I work with the shop, getting time off like that I had to be very, very picky about that because I had to pretty much make up extra time off that I took.
Yeah, and it's like
Because
whenever you did take time off, you had to work like 8 days in a row. So,
it
like,
made
yeah,
choosing
no.
time off very difficult because it's like I'm gonna pay for it. I have to make it something that's worth paying for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no,
not the case anymore.
that paid vacation is where it's at, boy.
Not even that. It's like I can just like I don't even care if I get paid or not. It's like I can just go. Like I don't have to haggle. Exactly. Like I don't have to worry about working 2 weeks straight before the event before Daytona or something, or working 2 weeks straight when I come back. It just
Yeah, dude. I remembered like
brutal.
1 year you went while you were still at the shop. You worked like 10 days in a row, and I was like, dude, like,
10, 11-hour days straight.
that sucks. Like that freaking blows.
Man.
So me, as long as I got time in the books,
Even with an easy
howdy.
job like that where you're just kind of hanging out,
it still wears on you.
Still, yeah, you still get a little crazy.
Especially when you were there from, just of morning to dark, every day. Like, nah.
Yeah, once you start.
Well, I'm working Saturday, so.
Well, yeah.
Still have a tab I have to pay off.
Yeah, that paycheck's not even gonna hit. It's just gonna pay your tab.
I usually just have him do like 50, half of it towards tab, half of it in my pocket. So
nice.
Works
it
out.
Works.
He's happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Yeah.
Easy money. Well, Harry, let's talk about you a little bit, brother. What do you keep? What do you do? I know you're a bit of a field herper. We'll get into that a little later, but tell us, give us the rundown. You can say as much or as little as you want about your upcoming into reptiles, and tell us what you're keeping now and kind of what your focuses are.
Oh boy, I thought about how to
picture. Huh? Paint us a picture.
Oh goodness. Well, I don't know. I've probably been keeping stuff, barring the first few years of my life, my whole life. I've always kind of had something.
Nice.
I started off when I was a kid with the usual like leopard geckos and ball pythons and stuff, and it's just kind of been a little bit of everything, pretty much the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I've probably been herping about that long too. Not even really realizing it though. I was lucky enough to grow up straight in the middle of the woods, like out in the middle of nowhere, a little bit north of Tallahassee. And it was nice, growing up out there running around, flipping logs over, all the usual story about that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, for me, they always kind of went hand in hand, I guess, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Always had inside reptiles and outside reptiles. I could go do this or do that. But I don't know. Like over the years, I kind of got my mom into it, and as I was like in high school and stuff, she was breeding the shit out of some corn snakes and some colubrids and stuff. She did black pines for a while, just all kinds of stuff. And then I was like, oh, pythons are cool. Pythons are all that. And she was just up to her neck in cow kings and corn snakes and stuff like that at the time. It was awesome.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
Like she still does balls. Like she's between her and my girlfriend. They're probably the reason that I have ball pythons. But it's pretty cool. She works with a lot of like the OG stuff, just like pieds and albinos and stuff.
And didn't you tell me she produces Scarlet Kings too?
She has a couple from her woods that she's done a few clutches of, and she just turns blues because there's such a pain in the ass to start.
That's still so cool, man.
That
That
is
she
awesome.
Produces Scarlet Kings. Like, that's freaking awesome.
I'm convinced they're not real. Like, they don't live. We'll get into that in particular too. That's on the list now. I'm writing that down because I'm gonna forget.
It's about the only thing I can find here lately. But now nowadays it's pretty much king snakes, man. Not exclusively, but the large majority of my collection is just kings. It's really kind of what I've been getting into lately.
Nice.
I don't know.
You picked up some alternate at Daytona, right?
I did, and they're eating, and I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Nice.
I worried about that.
Dude, it's such a sigh of relief when they finally do. It's like, okay, I'm in the clear.
Oh,
like,
God. It only took about a month. It only took about 6 weeks, and I just finally hit the button. Just boiled pinks, boom, both of them, and I was ecstatic. And they've been eating weekly since. So.
Nice. Did you pick them up like uneating, or were they started?
Still shiny, like like they hatched and got brought to Daytona. And he told me, like, man, I think I can do it. He's a really cool guy from out in West Texas called what's his name? Max Johnson out there. Snakes to the Max, cool dude out there. Got a bunch of neat stuff. But yeah, actually, it's a funny story. I got to the show, or me and my girlfriend got to the show, and we're walking around, and he was on the first aisle, and I made it about 3 aisles down, and she was like, "What? You just gonna walk by those pretty ass alternate we just saw? That's what you're here for?" And I was like, all right. So I didn't even get to make it through the first room, and I was walking a pair of Alterna. So,
dude, that's what me and Paint Shop did, and we literally walked into the first, like, because they opened up that second room first for like an hour. We walked in there. We both brought female Jedi, like, off the rip. Like, no, I'm not.
Well, you guys got those from that table, and then Kasicki got those two like red factor corns that were just smoking hot. Like, I was like, I wanted them really bad, but I didn't want to also like spend all my cash like right then and there without knowing what's in the other room. And so I didn't get him. And then of course Mike comes up, like I walked past him leaving that room. I was like, dude, there's some really nice red factor stuff over there on that table, and I'll be damned if you didn't buy like the nicest one from that table and then like rub it in. It's like, you son of a bitch.
Well, dude, it's a roll of the dice every time, because you know damn well half of that stuff's going to be gone by the time you make it. 2 hours to walk through there if you're hauling ass. Then you're going to go back, and it's going to be just long gone if it's anything. And I'm definitely glad that I
played it safe. I played it safe. I said the other room's going to open up. If they're still there in 2 hours, then I'll know that's a sign. So.
Well, I was going to find to have no matter what. I mean,
yeah, no, for sure. So did you get those Alterna from like the early opening of that second room, or was it kind of afterwards?
It was right about 20 minutes after I walked in the door after opening.
There you go.
Over with. I mean, I made it about 2 aisles further down and just pulled a Yui and went back and went ahead.
Well, also, I went in there like on a mission. Like, I knew exactly what I wanted to go home with, and I knew who was likely to have it. And so when that main room opened up, like I just went straight for Mike Falcon's table and got that female honey that I'd been. Like, I got a female honey from him last year, and I was like, surely he's gonna have more. And he got that one, and then he had that weird Ultramel vanishing stripe Tessera thing that I bought too, just because it's too cool looking to not get it. So then after that, I was like, okay, now I can sort of like really. And of course, I wish, like, dude, if I had like, I could do a lot of damage with like a grand. Like I could.
Couldn't we all?
Pretty well set with just taking a grand with me to Daytona and just in corns. Like, I would have come home with everything I wanted.
Oh, you could come home with a pocket full of corns.
Yeah, for a grand. Yeah, faux show.
But yeah, those things are kicking ass. I picked up a pair of Appalachians as well that are doing wonderful. Not that I had any doubt that they would. They're
Yeah.
foolproof.
Yeah. And those are kind of your, just from talking to you for the last, I don't even know how long now. Those are kind of your creme of the creme, right? Like that's kind of your thing, right? Appalachians.
Well, I've got 2.2 right now, and I mean, they're definitely some of my favorites. And I think a lot of it has to do with me just being local to them.
Right.
That's always kind of like I said, everything herping and keeping intertwined for me. That's always kind of the target species, and I have such a terrible time trying to find any of them that I just went and bought some. So now I can look at them. I go herping whenever I want for them in their tubs. So
Yeah.
but
For sure.
there's just variability in them, like most kings.
Yeah.
Have you had any interest in those Edisto Island ones that have that sort of similar look to them, just without the color?
I'd have to look at one. I know I have, but
See if
I'm
I can
drawing.
find a picture of one.
But
They look awesome. They look just like you. If you saw those, you would be like, "That's not an Eastern King," but they totally are.
I didn't even know we got those from Edisto, to be honest. That's pretty cool.
I've definitely seen some really like aberrant Easterns from other places, like up in like North Georgia and stuff like that, or somewhere that just super duper like crazy and almost kind of Appalach looking like that. And I think that's really cool. And like even down here, you get the stuff that looks almost like a really wide banded chain king, and then you look like a little ways over, they're just like patternless.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you have as far as king snakes go? I know you say mostly kings, so like that being your teacup, what kings are you keeping currently?
Not enough, because I have a lot of extraneous stuff that I need to finish pairings and trios out of.
Yeah.
I've got the Appalachians. I've got those. I've got the. Let me see, what else do I have? Dang, I forget. I've got one Eastern. It's a Jasper County locale from around you guys, and she is a pain in the ass. I love her. I should have bought two when I bought that one. She's from Daytona a couple of years ago.
It's from Dan Parker.
No, actually, she was not. Wow. Yeah,
that's from Edisto.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
That's cool.
That's beautiful. I didn't even know we found those around here.
I've seen it's just an Edisto thing, from what I understand.
Interesting.
But no, I've got those. I've got that Eastern. She's really pretty. She's a pain. Doesn't really eat that well. I've got one lone Mexican Black King, and I'd like more, but honestly, he's just really fun to look at. I mean, I feel like you can find those anywhere. I'm not really too worried about doing anything with those other than just like holding him and going, whoa, because that's what you do when you hold one of those things. I've got a pair of Scarlet Kings from a locality around here that I'm really, really hoping that I can maybe one day figure out baby wise. I'd very much like to actually hatch and get started a clutch of Scarlet Kings. They do exist, Smitty.
How are the adults with those?
Really? Well, kind of spastic, I guess, but not terrible. If you want something that you're going to have to feed fuzzies forever, and it's about as big as it's going to get.
But I mean,
cool.
they eat mice and stuff fine. Like you don't have any issues.
Yeah. I mean, they want to eat lizards, but they switch over pretty readily. They're definitely not the hardest thing I've ever done. But like my mom's got an absolute massive one that literally can almost eat like adult mice. And
wow.
Terrible.
Yeah. Funny enough, the only Scarlet King I have ever found in my herping career was in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only one. I was very screwed up on painkillers from kidney stone, as we discussed earlier before we started this. But very messed up on painkillers, and I kind of fell out of the Xterra we were in, and I just grabbed my lifer Scarlet King Snake. It was great. It's awesome.
Tears in his eyes from the pain.
Yep.
Or the Scarlet.
No, I was actually pretty much asleep. Like, I was asleep in the back seat. Someone said snake, and I just fell out of the truck like, I got it. And yeah.
Catching snakes with his eyes closed. Look at it.
Yeah, pretty much, man. That's how that went. It was pretty great. I don't remember it, but I have a picture for proof. Hospital band and a Scarlet King and a cigarette in the other, boy.
Dude,
Yes,
that's
sir.
Scarlet King. That's perfect.
Yes, sir.
That's a Florida picture if I ever heard one.
Experience picture.
Yes, sir. It's great.
But I've got those. They're doing well. I may cool them here in a little bit. I don't really know. I don't really know if I'm quite ready, but it's hard not to try those guys. Yeah. I've got a really pretty white-sided Floridana that I actually picked up at a local pet store. We have a really
nice
cool local pet store that the owner, she really loves king snakes as well, and it's a problem for me whenever I need anything and I have to go. But yeah, I know my girlfriend actually really liked that one, and I will never say no to bringing more king snakes home. So here it sits.
What's the appeal with the Getula stuff?
I like things that eat. And I don't know. I just behaviorally, they're not really all the same. I mean, I know they have this stigma as kind of a crazy genus, but they all behave a little differently. I guess like anything, But I have things that just hide all the time, and I have things that are just out all the time. Keep them the same, interchangeable, just like anything else. But I don't know. I think they're almost like kind of vintage Americana, Like, I mean, it's they're like between those guys and rattlesnakes. It's like what's more American than a damn king snake,
Yeah.
Everybody.
I mean, you're looking at a genus too that spans like the entire country.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a different flavor of
the southern half of the entire country. Like the bottom half. If you cut it in half, like cut it straight across. I don't think. I mean, aside from like North California and stuff, which I don't even know if they get stuff up there,
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot going on, and I haven't found a way to tire myself out with them yet. I don't have any Cali Kings or anything like that, but I'm nowhere near peaked interest-wise with those guys. I mean, they're just something new to delve into with them whenever.
Yeah, I mean, I'll always have a soft spot for Eastern Kings in particular, just because that's sort of like the the hometown thing. And just even the variation in those, the ones you see up in Chesapeake versus the ones you see down here, are like wildly different and
wide banded.
Yeah, you get
colors. Like, I mean, you can dig in.
They're neat.
No, man, they're awesome, and I'll always have some. I'll probably have nothing but more and more.
Jake, did I ever send you that video? So our buddy here, Tony Mills, who does an SCE TV show called
Coastal Kingdom,
they posted a video on their YouTube channel where they released a bunch of baby Eastern Kings, but before they released them, they took pictures of the head stamps and they released them on this one site. Well, then they came back like 2 years later and they found some of those same babies because they had the head stamps that those don't change.
Wow.
And they could, I'll have to find the video and send it to you. It was pretty neat because he's like, we released these like 2 years ago or a year ago, and we know this is this one because this is the same markings and stuff. I thought that was really cool. So if we ever have Tony on, I really want to talk to him about that.
Dude, we've been talking about getting Tony on for freaking years, man. That guy, dude, I could talk to him for hours. Freaking hours. And it was actually funny at Daytona. I ran into a lady that was selling like a bunch of jewelry and stuff. And I know she had cards for Coastal Kingdom on her table. And I was like, hey, like Coastal came, like, you know, Tony Mills. She's like, yeah, you know, blah, blah. I talked about Spring Island stuff. And I was like, yeah, I actually interviewed with him, you know, several years ago for my college internship. You know, I was a wildlife guy. The other kid I interviewed was a forestry guy, and they wanted a forestry kid. So the other kid got it, and I just got thrown to the side. So it was what it was. But Tony wanted to hire me because I was a snake guy.
He's not bitter.
Yeah, no, yeah. Tony wanted to hire me because I was a snake guy, but they were looking for somebody for forestry. And then the guy that was like in charge was a forestry guy, and he was like, yeah, no, I make the decisions here. So but yeah, she actually messaged Tony and was like, yeah, I ran into this guy, blah blah, said he knew you, and you know, apparently he interviewed, and he was like, oh yeah, I remember him well. And I was like, oh, he remembers me. But yeah, no, just a fun fact. But yeah, I'd like to see that video sent to me.
Yeah, I would as well, because that's really interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, they do a lot of cool stuff on that island, man. I actually inspect that island. I have a bunch of job sites out there, which I will be at tomorrow.
If I
So
call out of work, you take me with you.
come on, man.
Go
You can
roll
jump
in out.
jump in the county truck. That's the good thing about a county truck, boy. I walk up to any of these private places, they're just like, okay, just go
No
on through.
questions.
And I'm like,
He's doing is okay. Yeah.
yeah. No, so I'm definitely I may or may not keep a couple snake bags in my truck for any of these island localities I may find, which I screwed up last year, man. I found, so like that island is Spring Island, and before you get to that island, you have to go through Kalawasi Island, which I also have a bunch of inspections on, and I found a awesome little yellow rat on Kalawasi Island. And I was like, oh, should I take it? Da, da, da. And I'm like, no, I'm probably not going to find another one. This and that. I was like, I'll let it go. You know, like I shouldn't take it. Literally, like the next time I was out there, I found another one in the middle of the road. And I was like, fuck.
It's like, here's your second chance.
God dang
This is
it.
going to be your last opportunity.
Yeah, so I didn't end up taking that one either. And luckily so, because I didn't find another one after that. So as soon as spring rolls around, I'm gonna be back out there, and
They're there.
I'm gonna snag anything I can find, because like, dude, these island localities like are the coolest freaking things to me, and they were very unique looking.
They were.
I know that's hard to say for yellow rats, but if you saw them, you know what I was talking about. Like they were really cool yellows. So I don't know if they would have been a pair or not, but it would have been a neat project. So I'm gonna try and snag some next time I'm out here. So, and dude, Spring Island, nicest corns you will see in your mother freaking life. Like,
All the corns guys are just beautiful.
yeah, no, and then like these
Best in the world.
the Spring Islands specifically, they beat out your average Okeetees, like no doubt. One of a buddy of mine has one from Tony Mills. Actually, he's the herpetologist out there. He has a corn that he produced, and it's just freaking ridiculous, dude. So definitely, I would feel a little bit more bad about taking anything from Spring Island though. So I don't know if I would actually snag anything over there.
They sort of take their wildlife more seriously.
Yeah,
you know, they don't.
I feel like I could possibly.
Yeah,
I could possibly get in trouble if I did anything there. So
you got to use your judgment. You know,
yeah.
I mean, it's it's always going to be a little bit, give and take with that.
Yeah,
I mean, you must. How do you put self-control into action with all the stuff you sort of cruise up on? And
well, it's easy when you never actually hit your target species, like I. But I don't know. I mean, I just don't typically keep a lot of stuff. I do have a couple of these Scarlet Kings that I've kept, and that's just a little passion project. And the place I've taken those from is a little piece of private land that's absolutely crawling with them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like I put more down than I would ever take, and that's about my limitations for it. Now, I'm not saying that I wouldn't. Like we have some really, really pretty white oaks, like white oak phase, really, really want a pair of those. But honestly, like I've seen a million of them, and I haven't found the ones that I would want to keep, and that's fine. Like it's
Yeah.
not that I'm like. I feel like anytime I can talk myself out of it, I let myself. Like which is most, and it makes you feel better if you decide you do want to take something.
Yeah, and that's basically why I've only taken yellow rats, and even that has been very far and few between, but yellow rats are definitely not hurting around here by any stretch of the imagination. So that doesn't bother me too much taking yellows, but I wouldn't want to take anything that was, hurting in numbers per se, like
I'd hate to be the
that's
guy. I hate to be the guy that ruined a spot because he took the last one or
yeah.
last two or something.
Yeah, man. I mean, you can look at it like, the true like Everglades rats. The nicest you almost can't find super nice true Everglades rats anymore. Like you can talk to Phil about it. It's hard
Yeah.
because like they were herped to oblivion out there,
Stress the population
So
where they stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
that can happen with anything too. So, we definitely have to be conscious of stuff like that as herpers who do potentially take stuff out. I feel like, and luckily I feel like most like real, I won't say real, as far as most field herpers go, we don't take a ton, it's very, very far and few between type of deal. So yeah.
yeah, heck, by the time I've got a decent picture of something, usually I'm so sick of the damn thing, I'm ready for it anyway. Sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's for sure.
All right. Well, riddle me this.
Riddle me this.
I've always heard that if you want to find scarlets, you start peeling bark off of like fallen pines.
Scarlets and corals.
I've never seen a coral or heard of a coral in
Never. I've never found a Scarlet King looking behind bark. And I'm always really, really scared to go just like doing a whole lot of bark peeling because I do feel like it, tears up the habitat and stuff. But like, I guess that's the old difference between bark peeling and bark peeking, but I really don't find them that way. I mean, I usually find them like logs and, just like random detritus that you find, just like, the old trash pile snakes, like you find a pile of trash, it's probably got a Scarlet King in it, especially around here.
Yeah, man, that's what I tell people, man. It's like if you got trash in your yard, prime habitat right there. Like it doesn't have to be, all natural and crap, if it's just some trash that people have littered out, man, that's some of the best habitat you can herp.
Oh yeah. And you got to explain to people why you're going through a pile of trash in their yard or in your own yard even. Like, what is that guy doing?
Don't worry about it.
Shut up. Keep walking.
Never mind what I'm doing.
Mind your own.
Yeah, I really do like Scarlet Kings. We had some when I worked out at Spring Island, back in like 2007, and they were really cool little snakes. But those are the only ones that I've literally sort of seen firsthand and had my hands on. Never seen any since.
I had a big dry spell with those guys for a couple of years, but this last season or so, I've done better than I have in a while. And a lot of them been found in one little small piece of private land that I know for a fact is crawling with them. So it's kind of stacking my deck a little bit there. But heck, I'll take it. As much trouble as I've had finding them elsewhere. But
which makes sense because when you're dealing with like a smaller species like that isn't going to have a massive sort of range to be localized range. Like they are going to be more concentrated in a smaller area, I would think.
How far can that snake travel in its lifetime, or how far would it travel in its lifetime?
Especially considering how tiny the babies are.
Yeah,
and how reclusive the species is. They're not a big wanderer. They're very small and they're very reclusive. They like to hide. So
But I do really like them. They're about the only damn Lamprey peltis I can find these days, so I'll take it. And plus, they're beautiful. I mean, any tricolor snake, it's a certain amount of awe that you get when you flip something over and there's a tricolor snake of any kind under it.
Yeah.
Do you notice most of the adults have yellow, and the babies have more of a white?
Yes, I do. It seems like they get their yellow more as they age. And I think a lot of you'll find on the babies a lot of that interconnected black banding more on the real small ones, and I'm willing to bet a lot of that, from what I've seen, tends to go away as they get older.
Nice. Well, I feel like I already know this answer because I have talked to you plenty about road cruising and keeping as of recent. But as far as herping goes, do you look down on road cruising? Because I saw a meme the other day that I follow a page called Field Herping Memes because the shit cracks me up. But it was talking smack about road cruising versus flipping, and I'm like, I don't agree with that. Like, I think road cruising for me has just been, it's more productive, and I'm sorry if that's if that's what I prefer, but if it's more productive, it's more productive, and I don't think there's any reason to talk smack on road cruisers.
Well, I mean, I feel like herpers as a group of people just enjoy a good smack talking in general, but
it's true.
It's one of the draws. But no, I mean, it's just active versus inactive. It's like trolling versus hitting banks when you're fishing or something. It's
right.
It's I guess it all depends on what you want to do.
Right.
I mean, I'm more than happy to sit my ass in a truck and listen to music and find stuff, but it doesn't always work out like that. And I don't know. It's. I honestly probably find more road cruising. I would say, and who's to say if that's just because I road cruise more, because I do a fair bit of road cruising.
I would think statistically you would see more road cruising because you're covering much more area.
Yeah, but you got to think about things that are, that's only if the things happen to be moving at the time versus, find them under a stump somewhere when they haven't.
Right. Right. And I also think it has to do with time of day. Me, I don't road cruise in the middle of the day. I road cruise at dark because the areas that I can go flip, and actually hike around are public lands that close at dark, so I can't be in there at dark. And if I want to keep looking for snakes, I pretty much have to road cruise. It's like I road cruise. Yes, I road cruise quite a bit when I can. But at the same time, if I want to go out during the day and find a bunch of freaking cottonmouths, I'm going to go out during the day, go to one of my WMAs, and I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk my ass off, and so I think it's a happy medium. But it really annoys me when people are like, "Oh, road cruising's cheating," blah, and I'm like, "Shut up." No, it's not. I put just as much time and money into all that gas I'm using as you do walking around miles on miles, because I do that shit too.
Well, I mean,
I walk all over the place, but
there's still strategy to it. I mean, you can drive a place. If it's the wrong place, you're not going to see anything. I mean, it's just like anything else. Or you find a place that you've cruised a lot of stuff, in a certain stretch. Maybe that's a good place to hike. I mean, it's all about building your knowledge of what you're doing, and figuring out what works and what doesn't. And unfortunately, a lot of that involves getting skunked, but that's fine.
Yeah, and that's what's crappy around here. I have, and like you said, knowing your roads is a big thing. I took Justin out the other day. We went to a WMA. Then we went road cruising, and I went to my road that's, been known to be hot, and I thought it was a perfect night. No, we didn't have any rain, but it was good temperatures.
Well, you talked it up.
Yeah, I talked it up and didn't produce anything. But then I was like, "Yo, let's hit this other road, dude." On this other road, we found 2 dead cane brakes and a dead copperhead.
2
right
dead
off
copperheads
the
and
rip.
dead cane brake.
Yeah, I was like, "Well, there's that."
The biggest copperhead we've ever seen.
ever seen. I have found
Huge.
hundreds of copperheads in my life. This thing was pushing like 4 feet, dude.
Sheesh.
It was
I can vouch.
It was a freaking dump truck. Like it was massive, and it was like
You
freshly
know,
dead.
What sucks the most is like how long did it take for that snake to get that size?
That's
And
exactly
then
what I said.
literally within like a split second, it's obliterated.
Yeah, I came home from that trip, and like my girlfriend got home from work, and I was just depressed, dude. And she's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "You don't understand. Like, we road cruised a copperhead that was like the biggest I have ever seen, and that says something because that's the most common venomous snake we get around here." And oh yeah,
That was the craziest thing ever. Like I've flipped stuff shedding before. That thing literally started shedding about 4 seconds before that video started. And I was like, oh my god, I could never have like made this happen.
I would love to find those, man. They're so cool.
Well, that's a good pile right there. That's a good 10 pile. That's why it's
Now,
there.
looks like it. That's a great tip pile.
Yeah, I mean, do you have more success with piles like that versus single pieces laid out?
Yeah, because I think it creates a temperature gradient for them. Depending on, I think you get a longer time period that you'll find stuff in it. Because if you just got like one piece of tin, it could be 1,000,000 degrees under it. But if 5 sheets down, it could be right what they want.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
Could be up on the top. What you looking at? That little baby.
Little gopher.
You're in gopher tortoise habitat, eh?
Oh, dude. One of my favorite things because I can usually always count on finding them when I can't find anything else, and it brightens my day a little bit.
Another one I've never seen.
So do you have with that said, do you have good diamondback habitat where you're at? Like, do you ever see diamondbacks where you are?
Great habitat, but I very seldom find one. And they are here; they are around. It's just they're very cryptic.
Yeah, I know. With gopher tortoises, you can usually find diamondbacks in there.
Yeah,
I tell you what, though, when I was in Tallahassee, them pygmy rattlesnakes, boy, that was 90% of what we found out there. I see that. I see the one right there next to the quarter. I have a picture almost exactly like that. That was 90% of what we found when I was in Tallahassee. It was like pygmy after pygmy. It was cool, like the first 5 or 6, and I was like, okay,
You're out of your mind. I'd love to find pigs. I'd go crazy.
They're all cool. I will geek out over the first pygmy, and I will geek out over the 100th, man.
Oh yeah, dude, they're freaking awesome. I love them. They're one of my favorite rattlesnakes, like bar none. I absolutely love pygmy rattlesnakes, man.
Probably missed a lot of other stuff because I've been on my belly taking pictures of like my 5th pygmy of the day, but not take it back. That was a pretty one there.
Oh wow, that was beautiful.
White sides on that king.
That's crazy.
That was a pretty one. Same 10 pile.
Man, sounds like me and Smitty might have to make a weekend trip to you one of these days and
I'll
look
bet
for some snakes. You'll bet what?
I bet we could find one of those.
Yes, sir. Oh, I've seen that before. That burning tree, boy. Yes, sir. That's the best time to start looking.
National Forest, man. I try to get out there whenever I know they're doing a burn and see if I can catch some stuff getting pushed, getting displaced. But it's also just pretty to go out there and check that out. It's so surreal when they're doing that.
Yeah, man. I've been a part of a couple, like I've actually performed prescribed burns, a few times. And but now, man, whenever I know one of my WMAs is doing a burn, I like to get out there. It's good. Normally it's kind of cold. Whenever they do the burns around here, but
yeah,
still it's good. It's good weather, or it's good time to start looking.
Oh yeah. Well, you can't find them at the house. I've found plenty of weird stuff when it's been less than ideal.
Yeah.
Heck,
oh yeah.
In-hand shot of that corn snake you just showed. It was probably only about 60 degrees out. It was about 6 in the morning early this spring. Only thing I saw that day, and I was like, "What are you doing out right now?"
Yeah, man. So I know it was several months ago now. It was in like April. It was early April, I believe. Ben Frame from New York came down, and I was finding stuff left and right before he came down because it was good weather, and he came down. It was like 50 degrees when he came, and they had just done a burn at one of my WMAs, and I put him on his lifer cane brake, his lifer rattlesnake, but put him on a cane brake when it was like 55 degrees out, and we found this friggin' thing. It was awesome.
It really changes your mind about what you think to expect.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the last one of those I've found.
Oh man, hell yeah!
I would murder to see an adamantius in the wild.
Yes, sir.
And tell it, Jake, you don't like riding around during the day, but that's what riding around in the middle of the day gets you.
Yeah, I've never had luck. Only on WMAs I've had luck finding stuff in the middle of the day. You know, I found a couple cottonmouths, a couple rat snakes, a couple corns here and there, riding around, just like going to spots, you know, in the middle of the day. But I never had luck for road cruising. We don't have good roads to cruise during the day, to be honest.
Yeah,
So,
I live 20 minutes away from the Apalachicola National Forest, and
yeah.
I spent a lot of time out there riding around. I mean, you can pretty much do whatever you want out there, herping wise.
Yeah, I wish we had something closer to us, man, like that. Yeah. But everything around here is private or it's too busy during the day. And gotta love that pose of a pissed off corn snake, man. Golly, gotta love that pose.
He was
Gotta
let him get you everything.
It's like, fine, yes, I've won.
I won.
Release me.
Self now. No, that was a really pretty one. Like, I mean, all corn snakes are pretty regardless. I mean, but
oh yeah,
that's pretty.
Yeah, that is a nice one.
He's a little young, so he hadn't really turned more dull like that last one. But no, they're still pretty here.
Yeah, man.
That's a nice shot.
There you go. There you go.
Happy with that. That was a pretty one.
So do you use like an actual like camera, or are these all phone shots for your pictures?
Just me down on my knees with an iPhone, man. Like I would really love to like get a whole setup and actually start, like that's the goal. But it's a plunge I haven't taken yet.
Yeah. Now I need to get back into that side of things, man. I was in it for a while, but now it's just been a couple of snaps on the phone and rock and roll.
Like what? There's a lot that goes into that photography.
Oh yeah,
coming from not a damn thing.
Yep.
That's the
wildlife
picture. Just saying, oh, that guy.
What the heck is that?
That is a broadhead that I found behind my dryer.
What in the world?
On my freaking windowsill right here behind me. Look at that thing.
Huh. It's dead?
Yeah.
Very Holy smokes.
I found it sitting up like that. It literally.
Where is it?
Sit there like that. Like,
oh, you still have it?
You kept it?
Yeah.
Wow.
It earned a spot on my windowsill for that. So.
That's crazy.
All the weird shit I've seen.
That's another classic. Rough
one of
greens
the coolest
awesome.
snakes out there, man. I don't care what anybody says. I will geek the heck out anytime I find a rough green.
Dude, another thing I haven't found this year yet.
Yeah, I haven't found one. The last one I found was probably 2 years ago. And that was literally just like walking. I was driving out of my driveway I came home for lunch and I was leaving to go back to work. And it was just sitting in the middle of my driveway. And I was like, ah!
Justin's about to be upset. Yeah, there you go.
There it is. Oh. There it is.
I just want to see a damn Fulvius. That little tank.
Oh, dude.
Man.
One of those was, I think, probably that one. It was a fresh burn, and he was just out rummaging around in it, all charred
That thing is huge, man.
Dude, they're
I'm going the wrong way.
What are you doing, Smitty?
I don't know. Oh, you got Bruce Means. I have the Stalking the Plumed Serpent, but I do not have the Diamonds in the Rough, and I want to get a copy, but it's now like $100 and something.
yeah. I splurged, and it's a textbook. It is 100% like a textbook, but it's the textbook for rattlesnakes, so it's worth it.
Right. Yeah, it's got like, I think it's just like a compilation of pretty much all the papers that have been put out on them.
Boy, that bass was a fatty, eh?
It was a good angle, but yeah.
Yeah, it was a good angle.
Know about them gated communities.
Nice. That's well, at least you can admit it as a fisherman.
Oh yeah.
Corns.
Another pretty corn. Look at that thing. That thing was a tank. If that's the one, no, that's the little ribbon snake. Oh yeah, you're getting back to before Herping took over my entire Instagram now.
I haven't seen one of those in a really long time.
Smooth earth
snake.
Yeah, I actually got a double, flipped a pair of those earlier, and I didn't post it for whatever reason. I may, seeing as how I can't find anything now, I may have to go back and post it. But really, a little pair of them.
Nice.
Well, there's a Nerodia for you, Jake.
Here you go, Jake.
Yeah, buddy. That's a fatty too, boy.
It was a cold night.
Sir.
Good thing about those things is when it's a little too chilly to really be out, you can probably find some Nerodia anyway. So
I got one sitting up in my rack up here that looks almost just like that. It's funny, some of those Florida bandits, they all kind of have like that similar kind of dark look with some red bands in them, because I've got Citrus County, Florida bandits, and they look almost identical to that. I've got my females grown up really nicely right now, and
I feel like they're down here. They're pretty much across the board, kind of.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of other places are spoiled for options when it comes to how their Nerodia look, but.
Yeah, and I would say we're definitely one of those, man. On the same stretch of road, I found two different banded waters that you would think they were two different types of snake.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were just night and day. One was almost black with very thin red bands, and then the other one was like almost completely like brick red with these weird bands in the middle that didn't really change colors, but it had a pattern that like chopped it up a little bit, and it's nuts. I made a post about it a while back whenever I found them, and it was freaking awesome, man.
Dude, did you see that Clark guy that Dykstra posted the other day?
Yeah, those are from Montrose. Those Levi County.
One of his it was one of the darker ones.
Or Levy. Levy. Cool. Let me say Levy County. Okay, not Levi. Levy County. Levy?
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. I got some family there. I've been meaning to go up there and rats, but yeah, we always said Levy, but we're a bunch of rednecks, so we could be saying
it. I thought Dykstra, because Dykstra is from there, and he said I thought he said Levy. I could be completely wrong on that though. It might be Levy.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know either. But yeah, man, those mangroves are freaking awesome. Once I move, so I'm moving a couple ponchatulas from Loafman. I'm keeping one, but I'm moving a pair to Keller. I'm moving a pair to Jason Keller with a trade and some cash for a couple snakes from him. Once I do that, I might have to try and get some mangroves next year and kind of finish off my Nerodia fascination, because I absolutely love the mangroves, but golly, I can't keep too many Nerodia. I can tell you that.
Gloves over there by the rack for those guys?
No, I don't keep any gloves.
Aren't horrible.
Yeah, no, it's really only my Ponchatoula's, to be honest. Like the rest of them are pretty okay. Like I've got Dixie County Bandits. They're okay. The male's kind of spastic, but the female's really chill. Doesn't musk me. I take her out. She's fine. Um, and my citrus counties they're great. I absolutely love. Other than one female, I have three of them. I have two together. I have a pair together, and then I have a lone female sitting by herself because she didn't want to play nice and she was a little smaller and everything else. Or she's actually a lot smaller than the other two. So I put her by herself for food purposes to make sure she was eating enough. She's kind of a freaking spaz. But the pair I keep together, they're freaking beautiful, man. They're great. It's really only the Ponchatoulars that are really spazzy and musky.
If
So,
I think if I was going to keep some, it would be some of the brown water snakes because I think they look
dude,
like anacondas, man. I don't know, like I get anaconda vibes off of them for whatever reason. I think they're really cool.
Browns are freaking awesome, man. I love Browns. I really want Diamondbacks whenever I can get. That's pretty much where I want. I want a pair of mangroves and I want a pair of Diamondbacks. And that's probably going to top me off. Maybe a pair of Browns if I can get my hands on some captive bred ones, but there's not many people working with captive bred Nerodia. So they can be kind of hard to come by. And your boy is not about to work with wild caughts. So
you gotta really want to do it to want to,
yeah.
like, captive breed Nerodia because you're not going to get rich off it. That's for sure.
No, you're not going to get rich and you're going to spend a lot of time doing it. So
smell bad while you do it. Not always.
I have 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 tubs of Nerodia right now, and 3 of them are in pairs together. It took me about 3 hours the other day just to clean those 9 tubs because I had to disinfect everything because they shit like mad, and I disinfect their water dishes and take them out, and taking them out they spaz out and they don't want to go anywhere, especially the Ponchatoulars, man. I gotta just grab them because they will dive out of the tubs. I stopped keeping. I only have 1 pair of Ponchatoulars together right now because those are the ones that are going to go to Keller. But I stopped keeping them together because they were so hard to grab. Like whenever I went to clean, like I would grab one, the other one would shoot out of the tub and like go across my floor and behind a rack, and it was just a nightmare. So, and that's partially on me. I need to keep them in taller tubs, so they can't really do that. But right now, I've got them in my XR16. That's going to change very soon because it is very annoying to keep those things in short racks because they will fly out of that thing the second they get a chance.
You guys are making me jealous of all that BlackBox stuff. I'm gonna have to spend
dude. Dude, you got to. I can pan over right now, and I got an entire wall of XR16, XR20, V70, V73 stack, V76 stack, and then
use the discount code THN at checkout.
Yes, sir.
Don't you worry.
Got to, man. They're great. I absolutely love this stuff. I've got a whole wall of it right here, and I'm only gonna add more.
Oh yeah, no, those V70s are sweet, and like I can't imagine a better thing for just about any king snake. You could do a lot of stuff for them.
Hold on, Harry. I'll pan over here real quick.
Average size caliber is perfect.
There's that V70 stack, and hold up. What do we got? What do we got in here?
Is that one of my Florida pines?
That's one of your Florida pines right there, boy. It's that albino male. Looking good as ever.
Man.
Yeah, buddy.
Not yelling at you. I'm surprised.
No, man. The Floridas are actually pretty chill, especially the male.
The west side stuff. It's
the west.
Full of hate.
Oh yeah, man. They are full of piss and vinegar. My male Furk line has calmed down a little bit. He's pretty okay, but my female is like nothing but death.
Are your northerns insane? The little babies you got from
No. My male northern, I found out the other day, does not like a camera. Does not like the phone in his face. Other than that, he's fine. Female northern, nothing.
I got a little hard case northern baby from a local.
Yeah,
I ended up getting that little kinked. Little
nice. Oh
kink.
my female fork line just smacked the front of a tub.
Heard you talking about her.
Yeah, she's talking smack, and yeah, I can see her right now. She's whacked the front of a tub. It kind of startled me a little bit.
That's another rabbit hole I could see myself going down is Pituophis.
Oh man, they're amazing.
Pines. She had a bunch of huge ass bull snakes back in the day that were just so much fun. Like it's coming.
I'm about to grab my little boy right here. See, I don't even need a hook for this guy, man. I'll just reach in, grab him. Is that little northern from Paint Shop? This guy's got a ton. Like the saddles on him, like they're straight black so far down the back here. This is the male, mostly black on the saddles, but the female's got a little bit more of the tan in between. But yeah, man, they're great. No problems whatsoever with these guys.
Such a weird thing coming from, starting baby king snakes to getting a baby Pituophis in your hands right out of the egg and going, oh yeah.
Even those have put some size on them since you got them.
Yeah, man, they're
bigger than it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they're massive. They grow super fast, and even as babies, dude, they are huge as babies. Like it blew my mind. These things had, when Chris sent them to me, they had like two, 3 meals in them as it was, and they were just freaking tanks. Especially somebody working with rat snakes. These things are bigger than year and a half old rat snakes I own. So
I've got yearling kings that are smaller than that by quite a bit.
Yeah, no, like she's massive, or he is massive. Yeah, man, I absolutely love the Northerns. The Northerns are just a pleasure to work with. They're beautiful animals, and they're the sweetest things, man. They're so freaking sweet, and they're freaking adorable, as you can see.
Yeah, they're really close to getting a few of those. I saw some really nice ones. The guy that I bought my Gonai from had some really nice Northerns as well, and luckily I'd already bought a pair of Alterna, and that would have been my Northern Pine money, so I got away from that without doing too much damage to my wallet. But
there's more available at Daytona this year, and they were cheaper than last year, if I recall.
A lot of them look really good too.
Yeah.
No, my mom bought a Janai from somebody at last year's Daytona. I went with my girlfriend and my mom. It was awesome, and she ended up buying more snakes than me, which doesn't. But yeah, she bought a little Janai. I do not remember who from, and it was terrible. The poor little thing never really took off, never did well. But I was excited to see that thing turn neon yellow for her. But...
Ow! I just got nailed. Yeah, I just got nailed by the black. This is the difference.
Yeah, different animal. Those things are just little middle fingers that come out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can see that. That sucker just nailed me on the hand. He's trying to grab it out.
They're non-venomous perps. Like that's all I see when I see those things is Perp maculatus, just in a colubrid form, because they're horrible. And Chris is like, dude, you want some? I'm like, no, I don't.
Can y'all hear this right now?
Oh yeah.
It's freaking awesome, man. I love it. That thing just nailed me on the hand, man. That shit made me bleed. Oh my god, I love these things, man.
The thing is legitimately twice the size from when you got it.
Yeah, no, they're freaking huge. This is the female, and I thought the female was actually pretty okay, but
false.
She's proving me very wrong right now. Normally, I scoop them.
Heard you.
Normally, I scoop them out with a hook, and we don't have any problems. Don't bite me again.
Yeah, that little goofy crooked Northern that I've got is just horrible. You can't even walk by. He's in a little shoebox right now.
Really?
In the quarantine room, yeah, and you walk in and just hear you're thumping away. But
Yeah, she's still going. They gape and everything, man.
Oh yeah.
With
Yeah,
the blacks, it's so funny. They have such a powerful hiss. It's like they put their entire body into this hiss that they got going on, and they are just pissed all the time.
I distinctly remember a couple of my mom's big, like 7.5 foot long bull snakes just like roaring at me when I walked in the room when I was a kid.
Yeah, man, they're that's
Pistuophis is what they should be
yeah,
called.
piss you off this.
Seen
That's
that.
not even all of them, man. Like my Florida pines, like I could reach in there and grab them pretty much whenever I want. I just have to make sure they know I'm not food.
I can reach in and grab mine. He's fine. He's cool.
Oh yeah,
He's only hissed at me or gotten fussy. I think once or twice. Like he really, and I think that one particular time he was like dead asleep, and I grabbed him and he wasn't expecting it, and kind of surprised him. But other than that, I can reach right in and grab him. Like he's fine.
yeah. My Floridas, they're not. I can reach in and grab them. Sometimes the male will kind of just like let me know that he's kind of mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
But they've never struck at me. They'll hiss a little bit, but no problems whatsoever as far as grabbing them.
See, and that's what I want, man. I want a pit that I can pull out that's like massive and just chill and enjoyable.
See, he just
like
hissed at me a little bit. This is the
and the video does that snake no justice. Like that thing is just
it does
unreal
not.
in person. That is a gorgeous snake.
Oh, yeah.
This is the male. He's the more white of the
Pictures of that thing for months. Look at that thing.
Yeah, dude. He is he's freaking amazing. He's diesel, he's huge, he's sweet. The female is slightly smaller, but she's way more red than he is. But I personally like the white look of them a little bit more. A lot of people like the reds.
Goal right there, man. I would love to have some of those, but not Floridian.
Yeah, well, you can be gifted a couple, so yeah. We'll work something out.
I down a het, man, because I'm all about the normals too.
Oh yeah.
I have one. I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I can have one normal phenotype, and then whatever more if I want. But yeah.
This dude's freaking awesome, man. He's huge. He's a lot of snake. A lot of snake. Oh, now we're gonna run. No, I love these things, man. I really hope I can get something done with these things next season. We shall see.
Oh my God, get him off your mic.
Is he on the mic? Okay, hold on. I'll mute and put him up.
I can hear him rubbing against it.
I was waiting for him to take a dump on him, like right in the microphone. We're just gonna see Jake get tagged in the face with the sound off, and
I would love that.
It's gonna be a real shame. No, man, I'm sure at some point I'm gonna end up going down the pine snake rabbit hole again.
You need to be going down the Baird's rabbit hole.
Nobody needs to go down that rabbit hole.
It's lonely down here. Someone needs to join me.
You got plenty of people with you. Shut up.
I don't know what more you want from me. I literally have in this house, and it is a white corn snake that my mom produced. And I literally keep him because he's a gift and because he's white and he's cool looking. So he just kind of hangs out.
Baird's, and I kind of do miss having Theri, Leonis, whatever they're called now.
There is, I know
there's a female.
Oh yeah, like lavender.
Yeah, she's super red.
Awesome. I'm into the Coca-Cola box hide boxes as well.
Yeah, man, those things are great. I absolutely love them.
Granola boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Love boxes.
There's not a lot of boxes that are big enough for adult Pituophis, and I found these soda boxes because we go through quite a bit of soda at my house, as much as I hate to admit it. So I buy can cases, and I keep all the boxes.
Oh yeah,
they are fantastic.
I yelled at today because I've got too many boxes piled up, and I need to do something about them. But she is nice enough to save them all for me, so I guess I can't complain too much.
Yeah, no, I have this closet to my that way has a million different boxes in them. So, no, that's for sure. But,
did you see that speckled I picked up from a?
Of course I did. I'm the one who talked you into finally freaking getting it.
Oh, come on, man. You knew I was going to get that thing.
Took you long enough. Jesus.
It
like,
did.
Man, when are you going to get it? Come on. He was like, man, I don't know. I got to go find one. I was like, dude, get that thing. Me, you, and Smitty will go down to Texas. We'll find another one. Bada bing, bada boom.
Hey, at least it's the closest corner of Texas to me.
Yeah. Yeah, at least there's that.
Yeah, how far of a drive is it for you to get to East Texas?
That is Galveston County area where that one's from, about 9.5 hours if I'm hauling.
That's not horrible.
That's nothing.
I've done that. Me and my girlfriend went up to Ohio last year, and it was about 11, and that wasn't terrible either. But
nah, man, I went to Pennsylvania in a weekend and back. It was literally 2 days, and it was 12 hours getting there and 10 and a half back. Because I drove through the night coming back and I didn't have to deal with traffic. So it took me like 12, 13 hours to get there. Came back like 2 days later. 9 hours ain't shit. We'll make it happen. We'll do it.
Do that one sitting. Especially if there's herping at the other end of that trip.
Oh yeah. No, that's what I did for the Pennsylvania trip. I left at like 7 a.m, got there at like 8, 9 o'clock at night. Nothing.
Oh yeah.
Good to go.
I've already found campgrounds all over that county.
Dude, let me know when you want to go.
Oh, man. I have to get guilt tripped by my boss first, right?
Yeah, there you go.
You go for what? You wouldn't get it.
Hey, you wouldn't understand.
I could explain it, but you still wouldn't know what I was talking about.
Lie to you about what I'm doing.
My coworkers and boss don't even ask anymore. If I'm saying I'm going somewhere, they pretty much know it's probably for snake purposes. Like, hey, I got to take a couple days off and going to Texas. Oh, what are you finding out there? I'm like,
Between that speckled and those Alterna, I feel like I need a map of Texas on my wall next to the map of Florida.
Next to the Baird's cage that you have.
Oh, that would just be perfect. No, man. I'm still mad that you sent that bear and I to someone other than me. I would have made you a skateboard for that thing.
Oh.
I didn't throw that out there yet because I knew that I'd actually have to do some work.
Yeah, those things are cool as hell. Did you ever find the ones that were taken from your garage?
Nah, I don't expect to. That's fine though.
It's crap.
They'll get coming out of them unless somebody who knows me sees them on them. So whatever.
I mean, you can only hope that they fall off of it and bust their 2 front teeth.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm out of the loop. What happened?
I'm sorry, brain isn't working. I made a couple of longboards a while back, and
goddamn kids
yank them out of my garage the other day.
No, man.
They're riding around on a pair of custom longboards that are literally one of a kind. So I feel like they're going to turn up at the wrong place with them, and somebody's going to be like, "Hey, you there?" I feel like I've inadvertently put a green light out on a couple of kids over some longboards.
And you should, rightfully so. This kid's got to learn.
Nothing is sacred anymore.
Well, no. But damn, I would have given him one. Oh well.
And that's the worst part because it's like if you would have just asked, I would have given you one.
Fuck yeah,
you know, but you had to go fucking steal it. Damn,
I don't think one could hold my giant ass though. It'd have to have like a bar that goes from truck to truck that reinforces it.
Challenge accepted.
To be a Sasquatch size.
Oh, no.
I don't know, man. I've seen some pretty big men riding longboards and even skateboards, so I think you'd be all right.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It'd be Bowen in the middle, man. Like 6'4" and 270. Like
well, that
goes. That's a lot.
That goes to show how much you know about longboards because you don't just keep your feet directly in the middle of them. So,
Well, I know that, but still.
yeah, you'd be all right. You'd be all right.
It can be done.
It can be done for sure. So, is that like a hobby of yours? You do some woodworking on the side, and or did you buy the board and just kind of customize like the decals underneath?
No, I work at a cabinet shop, and
Oh,
I do a lot of the finish work up there, but I also have a key, so I go up there a lot. I have a shitload of scrap wood and stuff, and I like to play around with it. And I discovered that you can glue a bunch of shit together and basically make a gigantic cutting board with trucks on it, and it looks awesome.
Yeah.
And
nice.
they turned out pretty swanky, so I started making them for a while. But like most things, people like to say, "Oh, that's beautiful," and then not buy one.
Yeah.
So I just made myself and a few friends some, but
That could make some cool like wall decorations though, like by itself, deck it out with some stickers and cool little decals and stuff, and it'd be real cool to hang on the wall.
yeah, that was the plan. But I mean, really, what it came down to is I wanted a longboard, but I was too cheap to go buy one. So I was like, I'll just make something. They think I enjoy making them more than riding them, so
Yeah.
it's what it is.
No.
Really,
I
no,
know.
not to have wall to wall beautiful caging in here, considering I work at a cabinet shop also. But damn, man, it's the last thing you want to do when you do it all day is do
Yeah.
it, just like anything else.
Yeah, it's like the guy that works in the kitchen doesn't want to come home and cook.
No.
No, but that's why we have BlackBox.
Or baby.
You don't have to make anything when you go through BlackBox. Nice and easy. Just press place order and they'll show up at your doorstep in a perfectly great lead time, which is better than anybody in the industry right now.
Look at this. No, man, it's gonna happen. I need some in my life. I've got stuff that's gonna be outgrowing things. And as much as I love my 32 quart gasket tubs, I need some V70s in my life.
Yeah, these V70s are a lifesaver. I'm gonna throw it out there again. I really hope BlackBox makes a FB90 for some of these pines I got growing up. I really need some. These V70s are gonna get outgrown pretty soon.
I mentioned it to Jen,
guys.
and I told her, I was like, I know at least a handful of people that would
Are
be
those like
into it.
Are those like the small boa tub kind of size? Like
Yeah, basically they're like a boa tub. They're pretty much two V70s side by side, if not a little wider. They're as long as a V70, but they're either twice or 2.5 times as long, or as wide, I should say.
You call it the BlackBox pit.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. That'd be perfect.
It's Canon now. That's it.
Yeah, no, they'd be and nobody makes a PVC FB90. I looked into it the other day. There used to be, I think it was Tallgrass Reptiles used to make PVC like racks and cages, but I'm pretty sure they're not doing that anymore. But they made a FB90 for a period, but other than that,
I think you're forgetting Freedom Breeder.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I said PVC specifically, because Freedom Breeder is the ones who make the FB90, aka FB Freedom Breeder. They make those, but they're not PVC. I'm pretty sure you can get ARS in a 90, and you might be able to get Vision Tubs in a 90. I'm pretty sure you can.
Or an equivalent,
Yeah, an equivalent, but they're not PVC. You're gonna pay out the wazoo for anything that is not PVC. Anything from Vision or Freedom Breeder. Those metal racks. They're gonna cost you an arm and a leg. And trying to hold out for somebody that makes PVC, aka BlackBox.
Cough.
Yeah, cough. But we'll see, because I gotta do something. I gotta do something soon for some of these big Pituophis, man, because they're gonna outgrow these 70s here soon. So Gotta figure something out. But yeah, that's it's definitely a future buy because man, Pituophis would do amazing in something like that. Because a lot of them just freak out in big open,
Like
like open front.
stuff.
Yeah,
Sit there and whack it all day.
yeah. They'll whack it all day. They rub a lot. You know, that's he talked to. I think I was talking to Nipper a while ago, and he said he put some big northerns in 4x2x2 cages, and they just freaked out, man. You know, they were constantly rubbing. They destroyed their faces. You know, rubbing all over it. Stuck them in a
See,
CB70 again, and they were perfect. You know, so.
that when I worked at Spring Island and we had that giant pit, it was in like a, I mean, obviously it was like an educational area, so it was in like an open, like a cage like that, and we never had any issues of it, breaking its face or anything like that. We just never really saw it. Like it had a giant turtle shell as a hide, and it must have been like an AST shell or something because it was huge,
Yeah.
and we never saw it. And anytime I went to go feed it, it was terrifying because you'd never see it, and you would just hold the rat or something in front of that hole, and all of a sudden, like the entire shell would yeah. And it would make it's like a Jack in the Box, man. It would make me jump every
Like a
time
big
because it hit
side
it so hard.
coming out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no,
And then when you did have it, like when you did take the shell, that thing was like, okay, like look, you're gonna keep me in this thing, but now we have to fight. Like I have you forced my hand. Now I've got to try and kill you.
yeah.
You know?
And I think that comes into play with them being natural burrowers. You know, like they'll come out like
hell away from you. I feel like they're going to be upset about it. You know?
yeah, you know, like they'll come out like when needed if they're hungry, like whatever. They might come out and cruise a little bit, but Pituophis are big burrowers. You know, they're nest raiders. You know, they go underground, raid nests, and destroy all the babies in there. You know, so like they don't like to be out in the open very much, you know, and if they are in a cage like that, they'll pretty much stay hidden, you know, whereas in Iraq, you know, they don't stay hidden. They come out to the cool side, they thermoregulate, you know, and it's cool to watch them, you know, but in a bigger cage, you know, they won't cruise a lot. I think it could be different if you really deck out a cage, you know, if you really make a naturalistic, really thick layer of bedding, I think you'd be all right. You know, because I know plenty of people that keep them in, you know, bigger cages, you know, but they do stay hidden quite a bit. So
there's something to be said for security, you know, having the ability to get away, feel secure. Like
well, it's a prime example of the whole, racks are bad, cages are good thing. It's like, sure, but that there is no one size fits all solution to that whole thing. Like there are some species that just do better in racks, even if they're on the smaller side for that individual animal. If they're doing better in that, and if you put them in something more open and they're clearly going downhill, it's like you're not doing right by the animal. Then like
you're being
first,
freaking out.
If it would rather be crammed in a V70, but it's doing great, and then you put it in like a 4x2x2, and all of a sudden it's rubbing its face raw and constantly freaking out and goes off food. Like it's just do what the recipe calls for.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly why, you know, because me, like, I really like to put stuff in my tubs, you know, like I keep a whole stack of racks right here next to me, and you know, like that's, you know, to each their own, but you know, I put a lot of stuff in my racks, you know, and in these V70s with these massive pits in them, I really can't put much in there other than a hide and a water dish, you know. So that's why I feel like the FB90 would be perfect. You know, it's a big enough floor space where I could add several hides, some plants if, you know, fake plants if wanted, you know, and kind of do the naturalistic style, but still be in a rack, still give them that, you know, reclusive, you know, thing that they want. Huh?
What are they doing in Iraq?
What do you mean?
It's a joke.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
I don't know. I'd be interested to try that though with my Florida, because he's always at the front of the tub, like looking for food. Yeah. So I am curious. That's something I kind of do want to test myself. Is like if I put it in a more open cage to see if it actually does if that does happen, or if that animal's just curious enough to where it might work out. I don't know. I can see more high strung pits it being a problem, but who knows?
Yeah, no, and again, like I was actually talking about this with Skyler the other day from Hail the Scales. He he was talking. Yeah, Skyler, my boy. That dude's my shit. Love that fucking guy. But he was talking about when he was younger, they kept pits in bigger open cages, and they really just filled them up.
Amateur. I wonder if his phone died.
He was doing a Rubik's Cube under the table with his toes, and he accidentally yanked out That's what happened.
Now my camera won't focus.
But now to finish what I think he was trying to say, it's about the options, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love being able to put multiple hides in these tubs that I have my kings in. It's like herping for them when you go in there to find them.
Yeah.
You got like 3 hides in each one of those, and they're just these little corrugated or whatever, like black tubing stuff, like the water drain stuff that you can cut in half stuff. And just put a pile of those in there and a little bit of like fake plant or something, and literally you have to try to find the things. And I feel like if that's not what they want, then what is? Because that's how you find them outside. What I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, if my stuff, like it doesn't matter if it's hatchlings or subadults or adults, like if there's enough space for multiple hides in there, which pretty much everything has enough space for that. Like they have at least 2 hide options. They have a humid hide.
I got to do that with a couple of things. I have a few things that don't benefit from them, and I've got the bowls. I just use like the Tupperwares with the holes cut in the top.
Yep.
I just got to do it.
Dude, my stuff uses them all the time. Like even stuff that I didn't think would really take advantage of them. Like they love the hell out of them.
Yeah, and all of a sudden they're spending all their time in it, and you're like, "What have I been doing?"
Like the bears love to sit on top of them, not necessarily in them, but they'll sit. They love to just sit on top of their humid hides.
I'll tell you what's weird is these damn Alterna. I can't figure out what their schedule is or what they're like. All these Getula I have figured out, and these Alterna will just be out, like in just like middle of the damn day, or like whenever, they just like hang out, and it's so weird to me, and it fascinates me with them, like they're just out all the time, and I'm like, what am I doing? It makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong with them, but they've got every single option they could want for like doing things,
they're like the anti-king snake. Like they're so different from the Getula stuff that it's weird that they're almost even considered a king snake, because they're so far in so many, like so far departed in so many ways from your Cali kings, your Florida kings, your Eastern kings. And that's one of the reasons I like them, is like I've never had I've never had an untrustworthy Alterna. I've never
once you know what to expect them to do. I feel
like most Brooks Kings, you pick it up, and I mean it's like you're likely to get nibbled on. And it's like with Alterna, I've never had that issue where I picked up an adult Alterna and was then concerned that it would then try and eat my finger, or whatever.
Tell you what, I've never been prouder. I came inside the other day from letting one of the dogs out, and caught my girlfriend on Morph Market looking at Alterna. I was like, yeah. Oh, yes.
They are great snakes. I loved having them. I've mentioned before breeding them, though. It's just I'm good. I had my fill for a lifetime on breeding those things.
Yeah, I suppose with my whopping 2 hatchlings, I'm basically an expert. But I like the tedious stuff like that, and it feels good to figure them out, or figure. I'm saying figure them out on like a one snake by one snake basis. Not I've got Alterna figured out, but like it's. Yeah. Also, once I realized that a lot of things just straight up thrive on not neglect, but like quit worrying about it, leave it alone.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fine. Just leave it alone. It really it changed a lot of like how I approach things that I perceive to be difficult. It's like, don't worry about it. Leave it alone. Stop stop worrying over it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of and by the way, sorry, my phone died.
I told you.
Yeah.
I said his phone died. I can guarantee it.
It's better than what I thought happened.
We got talking about Pitchy Office, and I forgot my phone told me I was on 10%. So
He was saying you were playing with you were doing a Rubik's Cube with your toes under the table.
Listen, don't get me started. I'll move this whole tripod with my toes right now.
He's gonna like poke the eye from there with one.
He's not vaping with his hand. That's his foot.
Dude, I can vape with my foot. Y'all want to see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Nobody wants to see that. But yeah, no, I feel like that's like part of like a lot of, I'm not going to say like failures, but I think that's a lot of the problems people have with some of these more difficult species, that they try too much and they're messing with them too much and they try too hard, and that stresses the snake out ultimately. So it doesn't,
especially with babies,
doesn't
like
really do any good, and
stuff like Alterna. If you're constantly trying to get them to eat and you're trying like every 4 days or whatever, it's like you're only making it harder. It's like, just try them and then leave them be, and then try them and leave them be, and
that's the thing. You only really need to do that, like, especially like, with stuff like that. If you end up like, say, force feeding a tail or something like that, once you do that, you have to do it every 4 days, because once you kick that metabolism, it's going. But as babies, they can go a while without, eating much or at all, but as soon as you kick that metabolism, you got to keep it up.
I pretty much told myself when I got these Alterna that I wasn't going to tail them. I was like, I'll do everything but that. And if they're going to be like that, I'm just going to cool them and, just see how it goes. But no,
apparently all you have to do is ship stuff, because that one Dion's that I hadn't gotten to eat since it hatched in like June, sent it to my buddy Dustin, and he's like, yeah, I offered it something and it ate.
Yeah.
It's like,
dude, that's happened more. That's happened so many times with us, like stuff that isn't eating, you ship it and rock and roll.
No, one of my gonai that I bought last year, the male never missed a meal, and the female took 6 or 7 months. Bought her as a non-feeder, like straight out of the egg. The male had eaten once, and she took about 6 months. I tried everything, and I tailed her a few times, and I was like, only then did I really even start worrying, because I feel like I'd kind of keyed myself up for it because I had tailed her. And literally once I eventually brought him into the main room, I quarantined stuff in the other bedroom. And once I brought him here, within a few weeks, she just like decided to start eating. So like changed rooms, started eating.
Yeah. I mean, I sent him that, like, he bought a pair, and I said, I have this non-feeder. If you want it, you can have it, give it a shot. There's nothing wrong with it. It just hasn't eaten. Like, it's completely healthy otherwise. Sent it to him. He's like, yeah, I boiled a pinky and it ate. And I was like, perfect. Good job. I'm glad. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
This damn Alterna finally ate without me having to boil pinkies, and I'm so happy to not have to do that for 2 pinkies. I don't have to put a pot of water on for 2 pinkies every damn time I feed.
Oh, man.
Ugh.
That's awesome.
Why that bothers me, I'll brain stuff all day long and like chop lizards up, but something about sticking a little pinky in boiling water until it turns into like plastic is like, nah. Yeah. I don't know why that's what gets me, but I'm like, man, not a moment too soon did they start taking regular damn pinkies.
And see, I'm with you, man. I say every time I feed basically, I go and I chop up pinkies and frog legs, and I'm in there like looking like Hannibal Lecter with blood all over this thing.
Not a great sales for
Yeah, no, it's a bloodbath whenever I feed every week because of the neurodia. But having to boil a pinky sounds freaking terrible.
Yeah, I mean it's over quick, but yeah, when you see them turn into little like gray jelly beans, you're like, oh boy, this is what we're doing now. But hey, I'm glad it worked, and it's way less weird than some of the other stuff I did to pinkies the previous month and a half. Like, I mean, I have a blender sitting right here that I bought just for that and actually never used, but it's out of the box sitting right here.
Yeah,
ready for the day.
I mean, I'm sure it won't sit there unused forever, but I'm happy that it is in fact unused right now.
Yeah, that's always a good thing to have on deck.
All the weird things I did buy a press, which I have never used. It's sitting in a box somewhere around here. I wish I could get that money back, but it's at least neat.
I bought a cutting board and a fillet knife specifically for
board and knife as well. Yes.
Yeah, specifically for cutting pinkies. And I live with my girlfriend and we have a roommate. And I came home from Walmart and I was like, just so everybody knows, like this cutting board I use for pinkies.
You can use it for food if you want, but I'm letting you know right now.
You can use it all you want. It's fine. But I'm telling you, I chop up pinkies and frog legs on this thing and fish on a weekly basis. You can use it if you want, but I'm letting you know.
You can use it if you want hepatitis.
Yes. It gets washed in the dishwasher.
Don't bother me, bother other people. Like, sure, if I need a cutting board, I'd probably use it, but it's only because that I'm so desensitized to all the weird stuff that we have to do.
Yeah, I still use it. I'll chop up sausage on my cutting board, as long as it's clean. But
she's gonna hear this and make me throw it away now. I'm kidding.
Yeah, man. Well, we are approaching the 2-hour marks. Maybe do you have anything you want to?
I made it.
You want to add in before we wrap this sucker up? Did we hit everything?
I wanna find pygmies, and I want to try and convince my wife to let me get some pygmies again. I was so close.
I want to find some red pygmies. Is a herper and photographer I follow named Bob Ferguson, who's a straight up badass. I just posted a bunch of pictures of some really pretty red pygmies, and it has unlocked a new desire of mine. Not that I didn't already want to do that.
They're all cool. I don't care what color they are. Pygmies are
we
awesome.
do ones here, so I don't know why I'm freaking out over the red ones, other than the fact that we don't have them here. So
if you come down this way, I think we can find red ones. Not like they're harder to find in my county, but if you move up one county, we can find reds. So if you ever want to make a little trip down here, we can
things can be arranged.
Yeah,
I need to make my way up there anyway. I got a buddy that lives on Hilton Head, and
talking about
didn't mean to catch a fish with him, so I need to be up that way sometime soon anyway.
Yeah, do some island hopping, man.
Lift those Florida pines off you.
You ain't taking my adults, but if I can have these by then, I'll hook you up, brother.
I couldn't afford to feed those things anyway.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God, these Pituophis eat me out of house and home, man.
I'll tell you what though, pair ball pythons eating small rats, I could probably keep 12 damn king snakes for that amount of money. Like, they better be glad that I like them and that they were gifts from my mother, because otherwise, Jesus.
Yeah, man. These pits, I feed all my pits to extra large mice every week, and oh my god, that'll
diminish a sack of mice pretty quick.
Yeah, no, and sadly, my favorite ones are pretty much the biggest ones. So they
you don't get Pituophis because they're small and unimpressive. You get them because they're big and mean and loud.
Yeah,
loud.
Yeah. No, my San Diegos would be one thing. I got a pair of San Diegos. It's a little morph project that I have, and they're not as bad. They're a bit on the smaller side. I'm thinking as adults, they'll be all right on one extra large mouse a week. But these big pines and the northerns and blacks I got coming up, and then I have Claiborne County bulls from Texas that I got from Chris Dew. Those things are freaking massive.
Boa tubs.
Yeah, so they're gonna be on that same schedule. So yeah, man, I just spent another $400 some from Rodent Pro. Got an order in today, and I got 6 bags of extra large mice from them. So That'll last me about 3 months.
Tell you what, like I feel like the mice I don't mind so much. It's when I buy like 25 rats and they're like $3.50 a piece, and I'm just like, oh my god. When I'm looking at the the itemized thing, and I'm like, man, these mice aren't bad. Those damn rats.
Dude, I'm telling you, it before you move to like so small rats are a different story, but if you're feeding something medium rats, switch them over to 2 extra large mice and it's cheaper.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's cheaper. I did the math. I put a lot of effort into doing a bunch of math on like what add up into being more price effective.
Calorically and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I found 2 extra large mice, and my Pituophis have blown up from that feeding schedule, and it's cheaper than 1 medium rat. 2 extra large mice are cheaper than 1 medium rat.
I'd be so pissed. My one lone IJ, my Australian rat snake that I have here. He was a mouser for the first 8 years that I had him. I've had him since like pretty much right after I got out of high school or like like college. And he finally started eating rats, and I was so excited. I was like, yes, I don't have to feed you 2 mice. And then I started doing the math, and I was like, damn.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute. Careful what you wish for. I mean, because
yeah, no, and I've actually with my carpets, I actually switched to mostly quail because an equivalent size quail to a medium rat is also cheaper. So
next time I make an order, I think it's going to include some quail.
Yeah,
my
big female carpets get rats like during I'm trying to fatten them up a little bit for breeding season. So they're getting some rats, but even then their staple is quail now. And that's because I just don't want to have to feed them 2 different meals because they can.
He's just an asshole that lives in my snake room and eats, like that's his sole purpose is to like scare me and, eat rats.
There you go, man.
He's wonderful though. He's probably staring at me. Yeah.
Big burning holes in your back.
Yeah. From up in the tower up there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Definitely. I really thought about doing button quail, but honestly, man, I don't want to deal with that crap.
Yeah. No. They're cheap enough to just buy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Deal with birds.
Yeah. So, but man, this has been a great episode. Thank you so much for joining us extremely last minute on this episode of THP.
Thank you guys for having me. It's always fun to shoot the shit.
Yeah, man. Always been good. I've really enjoyed talking to you last, I don't even know how long now. We've been chatting back and forth for a while.
Yeah, man.
So it's been good. It was even better to meet you in Daytona. It was funny. Yeah. I was talking to Smitty before you popped on. I was like, yeah, I saw him at Daytona, and I didn't even know if it was really him. So I just hollered out his name, and he turned around. And I was like, it's Claiborne. Or Claiborne.
I respond to both.
Nice.
Where can people follow you?
Do what?
Where can people follow you?
Pretty much Instagram. It's you go back far enough, and it's going to be kind of like life stuff. But I've kind of let it get taken over by herping and snakes lately, so you're safe. But it is Claiborne_H or some derivative of that. You could probably just search Harry Claiborne on there too, and you'll find me. Yeah, man. I haven't been posting a lot lately because I really haven't been out as much as I like, but I'm hoping that'll change soon. Hopefully I'll be able to go find some cool stuff here soon.
Got to post more of your captive animals.
Oh, it's hard. I see it was just herping for a while, and then I'm like, man, I got so much cool stuff around here that I need to show off, but it's kind of been a struggle to decide which way to go with that, but I guess both is cool. Both is always cool.
Got to, man. Got to do both.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys letting me come on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. This has been an awesome episode. We'll definitely have to have you on again sometime in the future.
For sure. Maybe I'll have some cool pictures next time.
Yeah, there you go.
All the old stuff.
Yeah, man.
Well, this episode was brought to you by BlackBoxCages.com.
Right. Yeah. No,
it's all reversed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all reversed. I was trying to do the.
Yeah, we struggle with it every week.
It's horrible.
No matter how many times we do it, we can't remember.
I don't know. I can see how it never gets any easier.
No, it does not. You can tell every time I tried to adjust my phone camera, I was doing it the wrong way.
I'm like looking over the wrong shoulder, like trying to, point towards stuff in my room. What the hell?
Yeah.
So check them out. Facebook, Instagram, blackboxcages.com, and then stevesnaketuary.com. Get yourself some Venom hot sauce. It's going to a good cause. Steve is doing good stuff. And if you get that hot sauce, you're helping him continue to do that.
Yes, sir.
So check them out. We'll be back for Snakes and Stogies on Monday. I got some people on the radar for that. So got to talk to Phil and get a solid plan going. I feel like I've been very lacking in the planning department the last few weeks when it comes to making stuff happen.
Yeah, we need to get a lineup together for THP episodes too. Yeah. We've had a couple people ghost us recently on coming on, so we've been kind of out of it.
You guys just call me again, but just know people will eventually get tired of me.
Yeah, we thought that too, but here we are, 5 years later, and
it's all about the banter, man.
The numbers are only climbing, so
still close for mine, but I'll take it.
I don't know what's wrong with you people, but
sorry, right. I'm about to ruin you guys' bell curve with this one.
No.
Great. This was by far from a train wreck that we have had in the past. So this is fantastic. I love this episode. I don't care what anybody else says. So
did I.
That's all that matters.
Well, everyone, have a good evening, good morning, good day. Whether you're watching this or listening to it, we appreciate you. Because I always forget to mention, we do have a Patreon for as low as $1 a month. You can join. Check it out in the link below. Join, don't join. Either way, we appreciate you.
Thank you for the support.
Thank you.